Sorry for the poor audio quality. I'm recording in a bedroom at my dad's house. My Adventures with Superman just came out, and god damn if it ain't the most beautiful thing I have ever witnessed. I don't want to go into detail now. I'm saving that for a later review when the series ends, but I've seen the first 2 episodes 3 times now, 4 or 5 if you count the process of editing this video, and I'm rushing to get this out before episode 3 airs on Friday, because Thursday at midnight just means fucking Friday. I'm tired of pretending that it doesn't. But on Twitter, I saw this post and it kind of sent me off. I made a 7 to 8 long, post thread just ranting about how stupid this take is and why it pisses me off. But I decided that I should instead make a YouTube video and cash in my quick 5, maybe 10 views if the algorithm is a homie today. So here's how this video is going to work. I'm going to talk about the events of both of these scenes and how they work to change public perception of the Superman character. I will try my best not to get super angry about it, but please excuse me if I fail on that front. In this clip from the movie Batman vs. Superman, directed by Zack Snyder, we see the aftermath of a bombing in the Capitol. For context, this plan was devised by Lex Luthor to show that Superman doesn't care about people and is therefore evil. Classic. Mark Luthor devises a detailed and well thought out plan to turn public opinion against Superman. Perfect character moment for the big blue Boy Scout. Because Lex's plan is to find a guy who lost his legs during the fight between Superman and General Zod in Man of Steel. The guy hates Superman, obviously, which means that he agrees to become a suicide bomber and be used as testimony against Man of Steel. We see Superman standing at the podium, emotionless as usual. Superman never shows emotion, by the way, in this entire series, and as the senator in front of him struggles and panics at the sight of something, Superman just looks confused, doesn't take a second to maybe reach out and be like, "Ma'am, are you okay?" or anything. He doesn't use his X-ray vision or super hearing to listen for signs of danger. He just sits there and does nothing and looks all confused. Then after the explosion, he sits there in the fire, just staring down, emotionless. This screenshot is from the movie where he carries one person out of the Capitol slowly. He just slowly flies down, puts them on a bed, looks around, and leaves. And I don't think this scene is very good. He doesn't do much to actually fix anything. He could get every person in that building to safety before the explosion happens. He could gather all the survivors at the snap of his finger. He could use his ice breath to calm the fire and help get people to safety faster. He could lift up rubble and move it somewhere else to help look for possible survivors quickly. But no, he leaves because he got pranked too hard. He leaves the mess to everyone else, just like the battle against General Zod, where he killed him, by the way. This series of movies has done irreparable damage to the character of Superman. We went from gray Superman media that for the most part gets it. Superman, good guy, daylights as Clark Kent, who's dorkier but still a plain good old dude. Both of them love humanity and do their part to keep people safe, but they kind of just build a story around that. Some of them get a little too reliant on Lois Lane, but nothing, however, is as egregious or harmful as this series of movies is. Superman is seen as this emotionless god amongst men, who sees them all as pathetic and in need of saving. He is Jesus, sent from the sky to save the human race, which is wholly inaccurate and makes him seem like a bad person. I actually have no beef with people who think Superman is a bad person because of these movies. They're designed to give you that idea because they don't understand the character fundamentally. What I do have a problem with, though, are people sitting here trying to convince me that this is a good Superman. Stupid, idiotic Snyder fans are sitting here and telling me that this comb-over looking ass, slick back hair having jackass is a good superhero, and that anything that strays from that is bad. This level of brain rot is on a whole nother level. It would take someone dumber and blinder than a fish with no eyes to even think for a second that this is a good character. Sorry, I'm getting mad. Let's look at My Adventures with Superman. That always makes me happy. This scene takes place after his first real battle against Livewire. Her electric suit is going haywire due to damage from Slade Wilson. Can you believe this is Slade Wilson? Hitting her with a sneak attack. She's created a giant orb of electricity surrounding her and beginning to lift cars and pose great dangers to herself and others. By accident, admittedly. So, Superman just runs in, tanking electric shocks left and right as he slowly gets closer to her. Livewire freaks out and tries to attack him, which he carefully and calmly navigates by telling her that he doesn't want to hurt her and that he wants to help. He's calm, he's human, he's gentle. He can see that she's in pain and wants to do something, so he pulls her in and grabs the energy source that gives her powers. He also has this cool memory flash thing where, like, I think it's going to lead to something dope down the line. I don't know, I'm really excited. Anyways, he rips the energy device out of her and carefully carries her to the ground before looking back on the battlefield and seeing the damage she caused. He decides to use his powers to quickly fix up his mess and leave before anything can get worse. It's something very small. Clark could have very easily let the cops deal with this. Honestly, it might have taken like 4 or 5 people, like a couple short work days, to clean all this mess. But Superman takes it upon himself to just do it quickly and leave. That's how you write the character. It's just a small moment that shows a character's priority without overstaying its welcome. It also does a hilariously good job of paralleling that other scene and showing that, like, yeah, Superman's very strong. But not only does it parallel the scene of the Capitol bombing, it also in a way parallels his battle with General Zod. Instead of snapping Livewire's neck to prevent an inevitable disaster, he sees a potential way to save everyone and goes for it. He doesn't panic and just fucking kill her. He goes in with the mindset that he will save her, and then he saves her. End of story. It's weird to see this as OP. He uses a very limited supply of his standard superpowers to clean up a mess and help a lot of people when the stakes were honestly very low. There were no people injured and trapped under rubble, and he still goes out of his way to clean up and make sure everybody is safe. Compared to a scene where there are people trapped under rubble, and Superman very slowly kind of helps one person and then runs away when the stakes are very high. It's an opposite take on that scene that shows the character of Superman well. Even if I didn't already know Superman, these 2 episodes taught me everything I will ever need to know about who he is and what he does. And when I didn't know anything about Superman, Man of Steel / Batman v Superman taught me everything I shouldn't have known. There's a reason I used to hate Superman. In Batman vs. Superman, I saw a god who decided to help some people for fun because he was bored and on Earth anyways. In my adventures with Superman, I saw a guy who loves his family and friends decide to use his gifts to help keep the planet that he was raised on safe. If you want to see more nerdy videos about topics that only I care about, subscribe. It really helps more than you think, especially for very small channels like mine.